Yeah, hi students. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. I'm in a little different location. Um, and this is week 2. I want to go over what I think are the salient points. Forgive me if my image is a little dark. It's kind of hard to get the lighting just right here. But you can hear me, I'm going to assume that. So, week 2, there's some very interesting readings. The piece on isomorphism, one of the key theories to look at of 3. The piece on internationalization versus internationalism and globalization by Stromquist, and 2 very interesting videos. So I want to talk a little bit about each of these, again within 5 minutes. But also remind you of 2 things. Week 2, I start grading. It's the first grading of the discussion board. I do 2 weeks at a time, and of course the second thing is your paper is due. Your first paper is due week 3 next week. So turning to the readings, the institutional isomorphism. I know this is can feel rather obscure, rather odd, but it's really quite good. It's one of the theories that they use in higher education. They mentioned Max Weber and his concern about the homogenization of thinking that he thinks is being driven by the capitalist system. And there's a great definition on page 149 of that piece, using a description from 1968, that isomorphism is a constraining process that forces one unit in a population to resemble other units that face the same set of environmental conditions. At the population level, such an approach suggests that organizational characteristics are modified in the direction of increasing compatibility with environmental characteristics. So, and then this piece goes on to mention 2 types: competitive, institutional, and talks about 3 mechanisms and the rise of professionalization of various fields of work. And there are, on page 154, several predictors of isomorphic change. So what do I want you to do with this? I want you to become familiar with it. You're asking the discussion board to comment on where you think it might apply to your particular college, and I realize, this is very, subjective on your part, but you've got some nice things here you can work with, and the whole idea is to use your intellectual capacity to think about how this theory might work in that particular area, and realize you'll be choosing one of these 3 theories for your book report. Okay. The next piece, which is really I enjoy great, is by Nellie Stromquist, a case study on internationalization as a response to globalization. This is generic today. The 2, he uses the term, become entangled. There's an emphasis on market forces that affect decision making in higher education, which, by the way, internationally is the 5th largest service sector among countries. He actually makes an interesting conclusion on page 100 that this becomes an imitation of the business world becomes a safer approach. So it's interesting, it's critical, but it's an important part of who we are today, and you're going to hear more about that in the video. Okay, I'm going to turn now to the 2 videos. One is quite long, over an hour. It was done in 2007 on the 50th anniversary of UCLA, the University of California, as founding of the first Center for the Study of International Education in the U.S. 50 years ago. There's this video. I particularly want you to look at Philip Altbach. He's a great scholar, and I'll give you a link to the site at Boston College that you may find useful if you're interested in this topic on international education. But in particular, he goes in and gives a good talk on the globalization, how it affects developing countries. He uses the critical term, the McDonaldization of higher education in economies, and instead of brain drain, he uses the phrase brain circulation. it's something important for you to consider in our survey course of higher education in general, but this in particular is of you. So go into that site and go to the fourth speaker and listen to that one. He speaks for about 12 or 15 minutes. The second one is My Secret Weapon by Michio Kaku, and that's an interesting one. I think you're going to enjoy that. I think it's going to surprise you. I'm not going to tell you what the secret weapon is, but it's a major factor in sort of the STEM and the ability of the United States and our higher education systems to keep up with innovations in the world. Okay? So, and then, of course, the two discussion board questions. One is, how does isomorphism apply to your institution? And the second is globalization affecting your institution? So, again, you're only responding in 200 words or less, all right? So, that's my summary. I went 6 minutes this time. I hope you're enjoying the course, getting used to each other, staying with the process, reading ahead, thinking about the papers and assignments. It's enjoyable material, and you know, try to digest all of this and think how it might help you with your research project, which might end up being the topic for your dissertation. I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions or issues, please contact me. Okay? Thank you. Good luck in week 2.